Chapter 1 Jie Jie Jie, you run, the faster you run, the more excited I am. Please collect it. Please. You are listening at novelfull.audio. His.cu covered his head and gasped in pain. What happened? At this moment, a large number of memories came to his mind, as if they were going to burst his brain. The amount of memory is only 6 years, and there is no profound content. It is just the memory of a baby growing up to 6 years old, but after all, it is 6 years of memory, which is quite huge in quantity. This was also the reason why Suyu felt like his brain was exploding. The digestion of simple memories went smoothly, Suyu digested everything and his headache stopped. But my body hurts so much. Who was so cruel and dealt such harsh blows to a 6-year-old minor? Who the hell spanked me? Suyu is angry. After all, he has lived for more than 20 years. Even if he traveled through time as a child, encountering this situation would definitely be unacceptable. Then he fell silent, because this is a wilderness, there is no one around, and there is nowhere to vent your anger. Besides, what will happen if we beat them? They are all dead too. Suyu sighed. He traveled to Douluo continent, a world where everyone can awaken their martial soul at the age of 6. After awakening the martial soul, if you have soul power, you can practice. When the soul power reaches the full 10th level, obtain a soul ring. Under normal circumstances, according to the number of soul rings, they are called soul masters, great soul masters, soul sects, soul kings, soul emperors, soul saints, soul Douluo and title Douluo. So you travel to such a world. He had also read the novel Douluo in his previous life. He was definitely excited, but he had to calm down. It's not time to let down your guard yet, the information obtained from memory is limited. How much can a 6-year-old child understand? But from the few words in his memory, Suyu was able to deduce the crisis he was facing. Evil soul master, just as he awakened his martial soul, an evil soul master came to the village to kill him. Even if he recalled it from the perspective of a child in his memory, Suyu could understand the despair of the villagers. My predecessor was a chance that my parents fought for, and I ran away like crazy to survive until now, but I still haven't escaped too far, and I'm still facing the danger of being chased by the evil soul master. For a 6-year-old baby to be able to run away like this is naturally the result of the cruelty of his parents. That's where the pain in the butt comes from. Then, he ran away like crazy. Well, what can a 6-year-old kid do if he escapes? It's a pity that the original Xiaoyu is still dead, but if I can, I will help you kill the evil soul master. Suyu felt a little more relaxed physically and mentally. Even the physical pain is so real. Damn it, it's better to make it clear later. Suyu found joy in suffering. He knew the desperate situation he now faced. What can the blue-silver grass martial spirit with level 3 innate soul power do? Now I can only pray that the evil soul master has no intention of arresting a child like him. However, what are you afraid of? Suyu smelled blood. It was the disgusting smell accumulated by killing countless people. Suyu felt nauseated just by smelling it. Traveling through the peerless Tang sect period of Douluo continent, you received the gift of blue stars will and gained heaven-defying understanding. A note flashed before Suyu's eyes. What? Suyu had a guess in his mind, and he verified it nervously. He blinked several times to make sure he wasn't hallucinating. Sure enough, Goldfinger is never late. Suyu breathed a sigh of relief after confirming that it was not an illusion. In this crisis, nothing is more exciting than awakening Goldfinger. The understanding is incredible. It sounds good. Suyu couldn't allow himself to think too much. The nauseating aura was getting stronger and stronger. He needed to come up with a countermeasure as soon as possible to save his life from the evil soul master. Run. You can't run away for sure. In his already exhausted state, it was impossible to outrun a second-level soul master. Is there any way to hide myself? Suyu suddenly had a direction. Blue-silver grass. Blue-silver grass is inconspicuous. It has a talent of hiding itself, summoning the martial spirit. A crystal-clear grass emitting blue fluorescence grew out of Suyu's palm. You study the blue-silver grass martial spirit, develop the properties of blue-silver grass, and master the method of breath concentration. You studied the blue-silver grass martial spirit and successfully mastered the blue-silver grass technique of communicating with the outside world. Su Yu's small body lay in a pile of blue-silver grass. The top of his head was covered with tender blue-silver grass, completely hiding him. The fluctuations in soul power are also obscured by the characteristics of blue-silver grass. Wherever the evil soul master passed, the smell of blood filled the air, but there is also an advantage, that is, if the area he passes by is not searched thoroughly at that time, then what is missed will definitely be missed. Under the cover of this bloody smell, it is almost impossible to find it again. Feeling that the evil soul master had gone away, so you waited for a while before carefully exposing his eyes and observing the surroundings. Boy, it turned out to be hidden here. Jie Jie Jie, isn't it a surprise? I like to play this kind of game the most, but I have never lost a prey. The eerie voice made Su Yu's hair stand on end. This evil soul master didn't leave, he sees it all as a game. This is really a perverted evil soul master. Su Yu's mind raced, thinking about the possibility of escaping. He suddenly jumped out of the blue-silver grass and ran towards the back. No matter what, you have to run first. Su Yu was exhausted at first, but after using his soul power to cast the blue-silver grass, he unknowingly gained more strength. You apply the blue-silver grass martial soul, you are nourished by the blue-silver grass, and your physical strength has recovered to some extent. You exploded your potential in a desperate situation. You have an epiphany. Su had a direct epiphany, and instantly had an extraordinary understanding of the vitality of the blue-silver grass. You have an epiphany, you feel the tenacious vitality of the blue-silver grass. You have an epiphany, you have developed a self-created soul skill for Lanyan Ko. You developed the art of cutting. So you fell into a state of epiphany, and in an instant, a lot of information flashed through his mind. Everything is in the flash of electric light. After all this was done, so you really turned around and ran away. No, he is not running away, he was creating distance. This evil soul master likes to play games. This kind of contempt will become your grave. In this wilderness, there are blue-silver grass everywhere, so you quickly relied on his control of the blue-silver grass to absorb some of the soul power of the surrounding blue-silver grass. Of course, these soul powers belong to outsiders. He can borrow it for a short time, but it doesn't belong to him after all, and it will dissipate soon, but that's enough. Jie Jie, little guy, run. The faster you run, the more excited I am. The evil soul master Jie Jie laughed strangely, extremely insolent, with perverted excitement in his eyes. Jie 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 Jie. Su Yu still looked frightened and ran wildly. At the same time, he focused his attention on the movements of the evil soul master. This time, there can be no mistakes. Explain that the protagonist has no system for his own understanding. He just has an entry, which is a summary of the protagonist's understanding. It is not about cramming knowledge into skills. The entry is just an explanation, just for everyone to see. No system. Chapter 2 Oral Blow. Could it be that I understood it wrong? Please collect it. Please read it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. At this moment, Wang Yu was only joking in his heart, having just massacred the entire village. Not only did his soul power not reach the bottom because of this, but his soul power became full after devouring a large amount of flesh and blood. He even used this soul power to break through a soul power barrier and reach level 29. Just tell me, how to lose. In fact, Wang Yu never thought about the concept of losing. Although the little guy in front has some soul power in his body, it can only fluctuate at the third level. What can be done? However, this boy's soul is quite tenacious. He actually persisted for so long. Wrong. The evil soul master suddenly realized that there was blood-red soul power permeating his body, forming something like a breastplate on his chest. On the breastplate, there are black lines flowing, exuding an evil aura. A blue-silver grass spear with thick arms rushed straight towards him. This spear is formed by the rotation and condensation of a large amount of blue-silver grass. The tip is extremely sharp. If the martial soul protection was not summoned, even if Wang Yu was a great soul master, he would inevitably be stabbed. Boy, I didn't expect that someone who had just awakened his martial spirit would be able to do this. Wang Yu licked the corners of his mouth, showing his morbid madness. But the more you act like this, the more excited I get. Jie Jie Jie, he grinned, wouldn't it be more fun to kill such a genius? Look at the desperate face of this genius who keeps struggling and is finally helpless, what a wonderful game this will be. Although the third level soul power is very rubbish, but the use of martial arts to this point can be regarded as a little genius. A seed of blue-silver grass fell into Wang Yu's mouth. Immediately, the blue-silver grass seeds burst into vitality and grew crazily. The sharp grass tips pierced the surface of Wang Yu's mouth. The art of cutting, Douluo smiled, it makes you laugh non-stop. Did I catch the opportunity? Wang Yu instantly realized the strangeness in his mouth, but he didn't care too much. After all, the smell of blood escaping from the wounds punctured by the tiny blue-silver grass seedlings was not as strong as the smell of blood surrounding him. However, then his eyes widened and a look of fear appeared on his face. The cutting technique can continuously regrow new blue-silver grass spikes at any part of the blue-silver grass, and keep branching. The most powerful thing about this soul skill is that it only needs to penetrate into the opponent's body, then in an instant burst, a large number of forks will be extended, destroying the tissue in the opponent's body. At this moment, Suyu's blue-silver grass pierced the mouth of Wang Yu. The evil soul master. Wang Yu only had time to show a horrified expression, and then died silently. Not a sound was made. He died. A great soul master was killed. Suyu waited for 3 seconds to confirm that the evil soul master was completely dead, then fell to the ground and breathed in fresh air. Although the smell of blood was still lingering, Suyu enjoyed it very much, the rest of the life. While recovering his strength, Suyu had time to think about his current situation. Douluo continent, the peerless Tang sect period. Is it the period of peerless Tang sect? I just don't know what time it is now. If you miss Hui Yuhao's growth, you don't have to worry about being monitored by the God King. Instinctively, Suyu was on guard against the God King. His first reaction was to avoid the other person's sight. He didn't know what bad thoughts led him to be so cautious. Hui Yuhao, the son of luck, started with a million-year soul ring. With such adverse luck, he was just a first-level god in the end. Don't talk about whether there are enough divine positions. Why did you, Tang-san, come up to have 2 divine positions, one as a god king and one as a quasi-god king? A god like Poseidon is definitely not a first-level god. After all, he can compete with God Shura for his heir. He won't even give in at all. Only a ghost would believe that he is a first-level god. It would be fine if he passed on the god of emotions to Hui Yuhao. The key point is that Rong Yenbing was plotted by the God King, so you would definitely not believe it if there was nothing wrong with it. In short, so you didn't have a good impression of that God King. If you can't avoid Hui Yuhao's period, you can accept it. At least the plot of Hui Yuhao's period can be used as a reference. Suyu now has incredible understanding, and he definitely has the capital to rise. Forget it, it doesn't matter what time it is. Step by step, there's no point thinking about it now. The timeline and other things need to be investigated, and I can't think of anything just sitting here. Suyu even read the approximate period of time he traveled through from the entry, which was the period of the peerless Tang sect. Let's see if there is anything on this evil soul master first. Suyu came to this world with nothing and could only place his hopes on this evil soul master. Afraid that there was something poisonous on the other party, Suyu remotely controlled the blue-silver grass to search for it. 10 gold soul coins, that's okay. In Suyu's current situation, the golden soul coin is the most important thing to him. With money, other things will be easy to handle. In addition to 10 gold soul coins, the evil soul master also had a storage ring, some books, and a lot of strange things on his body. There is a small leather whip that does not look like it is used for fighting. There is a long hemp rope that can bind the whole body. There are also candles and such. Suyu, a 6-year-old baby, naturally couldn't figure out what the other person was bringing with him. Is this a soul guide? He saw something similar to a handle. When he took it out, he saw that there were a lot of lines on it. Inside the handle, he could vaguely see a spherical metal thing inside. Try it. Suyu input soul power into the handle, and sure enough, a large number of lines on the metal sphere flashed with light, and then a vague shadow formed above the handle. This is a soul guide dagger. My soul power is not enough to fully activate the dagger. Stopping the input of soul power, the shadow dissipated and the light on the metal sphere dimmed. Suyu put the handle back into the storage ring. What is this, a training manual? And Suyu, who didn't understand anything, found it really annoying. He was about to pack everything and throw it away, but suddenly stopped. Finally someone serious. Intermediate meditation method. Suyu's predecessor could not read much, but he could recognize these characters. He briefly looked through it. That's surprisingly easy to understand. My predecessor was just a child from a rundown village. I had a mother who knew a little bit about Chinese characters at home, so I just learned a few words from him. Therefore, I did not have the mentality of being able to understand the secrets of cultivation in this world. However, when he really looked at this intermediate meditation method, Suyu found that he seemed to have overestimated something. Is this the meditation method of Douluo continent? That this method of cultivation? It's hard to say. Too easy. Just knowing a few words and even guessing the meaning of the book, Suyu roughly knew how to practice. Is it possible that I understood it wrong? That the new book issue is really important. Brothers, if you like this book, I hope you can support it. Just reading it is already a great support. If you want to catch up, you have to click on the last chapter within 24 hours of the latest chapter being released, please. Chapter 3 Fantasy Combat Power Floor Tiles are not unreasonable. Please collect and read. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So you didn't dare to practice rashly. Leave the intermediate meditation booklet in the storage ring. After cleaning the battlefield again and confirming that there were no problems, Suyu set out on his way. He held the map he had collected from the evil soul master in his hand, compared it, and headed towards the nearest town, Moon City. This is a second-level small town in the southeast of the Star Luo Empire. The city is still very large, and there is even a forest of soul beasts, which is officially kept in captivity and prepared for soul masters who need it to obtain soul rings. Of course, if you want to enter this soul beast forest to hunt soul beasts, you will definitely have to pay a high entrance fee. Suyu changed his clothes in a small village on the way and dressed himself up. When he came to the gate of the city, he was filled with emotion. This fantasy world is different. A city gate is so magnificent. This scale, this momentum, I really don't know what Shrek City, where Shrek Academy is located, is like. And what kind of scenery is Mingdu, the capital of the Sun and Moon Empire, known as the most advanced and developed? Find a place to stay first. Suyu found a small single-family courtyard and paid a month's fee for a total of 5 Gintama coins. In fact, normally speaking, from a safety perspective, a 6-year-old child should not look for a house to live alone. However, developing the cutting technique means that Suyu has a minimum ability to protect himself. This also allows him to act a little more arrogantly. The technique of cutting to kill the evil soul master was a coincidence and was achieved due to many factors. Under normal circumstances, Suyu would definitely not be able to defeat a great soul master. But Suyu still had confidence in the cutting technique when facing a soul master who only had one soul skill. The only disadvantage is that his soul power may be a little low and his battery life is insufficient, but the art of cutting is all about instant kill. As long as you find the right time and activate the soul skill, you can kill with one blow. Find a way to read. This is the second most important thing. As for applying for identity certificates and so on, when you have achieved cultivation in the future, what can't be done? A 3-ring soul master can handle it casually in a small town, so Suyu was not worried at all about this. Under normal circumstances, this kind of identity certificate will not be used. Suyu has no intention of going to a soul master academy, nor does he want to buy a house. This kind of identity certificate is basically meaningless. As for Shrek Academy, as long as you are talented enough, nothing is a problem. Although I don't agree with many of Shrek's ideas, I have to admit that the educational resources there are indeed the highest in the continent. Suyu is not talking about teacher resources, but more about various knowledge resources such as cultivation skills and cultivation experience. He has a clear understanding of his situation. His understanding is incredible. This is his biggest golden finger and the basis for his future rise. To maximize this effect, a wealth of knowledge is essential. I don't have anything in my mind, and it's a bit inconvenient to develop anything. The art of cutting is just a soul skill that Suyu developed in a state of enlightenment. Even this soul skill itself is not perfect. Self-created soul skills are a summary of the operation of soul power and an attack method mastered by oneself. It needs to be perfected step by step in order to keep up with the footsteps of the soul master and continue to be effective, just like different levels of absorbed soul rings, with the same consumption of soul power. The soul skills of a century-old soul ring are not as good as the soul skills of a 1,000-year-old soul ring. This is the essential difference between soul skills. Self-created soul skills must be perfected step by step. The cutting technique that Suyu has developed now is, in essence, the soul skill that a soul ring that is more than 100 years old can provide. We'll talk about these later. Let's learn how to read and meditate first. Suyu spent half a day to find a teacher in the city and spent a gold soul coin to hire him to give lectures for him. Without saying a word about this high reward, the other party followed Suyu home and began to give him lectures. Suyu just wanted to read, and with the blessing of incredible understanding, he learned it very quickly. The teacher didn't bring enough textbooks on the first day. He taught them all for a long time and hurried home. After 3 days, the teacher left with emotion. After earning a gold soul coin in 3 days, he could walk with a smile. Suyu sent the teacher away, closed the door, and took out the intermediate meditation method. He didn't learn all the words to form sentences or anything like that. He only learned the most basic recognition of words and the most common words. Learning these and a dictionary is enough. Referring to the dictionary, Suyu understood the description of the intermediate meditation method bit by bit. What the hell is the difference between this and what I guessed? Suyu threw away the dictionary in his hand and cursed loudly. What the hell? It's not that I overestimated myself, but that I overestimated this meditation method. The fantasy combat power floor tiles in Douluo continent are not without reason. Damn it, just feel the presence of the martial soul in your body, then meditate to capture the vitality between heaven and earth, and use the martial soul to transform it into your own soul power. The so-called intermediate meditation method is just a difference in some simple techniques during the meditation process. Suyu was speechless. In this case, I can only experience it myself. Sit cross-legged and relax your mind. As he tried, Suyu also discovered that this meditation method was not useless. At least, the meditation method of entering concentration is very effective. It can quickly avoid unnecessary thoughts and make it easier to concentrate. Suyu quickly felt the presence of the martial soul in his body, activated the martial soul, and sensed the vitality between heaven and earth. This sense of vitality is indeed useful. It's also useful for refining vitality. After experiencing it again, Suyu opened his eyes and began to summarize the effects of the intermediate meditation method. In short, the auxiliary effect is really good. However, this meditation method is only an auxiliary function. The only one that has an impact on the speed of cultivating soul power is the technique of assisting in refining vitality into soul power. Once you become a great soul master, it will probably be greatly weakened. At that time, I will probably just rely on myself to practice alone. In this regard, Suyu could only be speechless. No wonder it's called meditation. However, above the intermediate meditation methods there are advanced meditation methods. Further up, there must be more special training techniques. Meditation method may have been created just to facilitate meditation. While practicing, there are many techniques for operating soul power. These may be the key to increasing the speed of practice. Suyu remembered that in that era 10,000 years ago, the dashi seemed to have summed up a series of soul power operation routes, which were said to be able to greatly speed up the cultivation of soul power. It shows that in Douluo continent, there are still techniques similar to internal strength, which use soul power to move along specific routes in the meridians of the body to achieve effects. However, the so-called system has not been achieved. As for the fact that someone was summarizing the operation route 10,000 years ago, and that no one has actually created a method similar to internal strength after 10,000 years, so you didn't want to go into it. Chapter for the Lingering Ghost, please collect it. Please read it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After learning the meditation method, Suyu stayed in the courtyard, and a month passed in the blink of an eye. At this moment, Suyu was sitting cross-legged on the bed, his eyes slightly closed. Control the flow of soul power in the body and spread it throughout the body as much as possible. The vitality of heaven and earth was gathered by the blue-silver grass martial spirit, and then absorbed and refined into his own soul power. The soul power circulates in the body, tempering the body. Boom. There was a roar in his body, as if a certain barrier was broken. Suyu practiced again for half an hour before slowly opening his eyes. In 1 month, it reached level 4. When he awakened, he had a soul power of about level 3.5. If you calculate it this way, it's 1 level in 2 months, which is a bit slow. It seems that there is a level every 2 months, but this is based on level 3, as the soul power increases, the soul power required for each promotion is astonishing. Although the speed of absorbing vitality and refining soul power is also accelerated, the overall difficulty of upgrading is increased. It can even be said that it is a substantial improvement. Now it takes 2 months to upgrade to a level, and maybe a year later, it will only be another 4 or 5 levels. It seems that we still need to find ways to increase the speed of cultivation. Outside Suyu's residence, there were several hawkers. They obviously had no business, but they opened in the area outside Suyu's residence. From time to time, his eyes would glance at Suyu's residence. Is this kid going to die? It's been a month and I haven't left the house. These people have been waiting here for a long time. However, he didn't even see Suyu's hair. If they hadn't asked every time they saw someone bringing food or water in, they would have thought that the boy had slipped away unknowingly. Damn it, this guy is just a gold soul coin guy, he must still have money on him. Needless to say, he hires people to deliver food to him every day, so he must be rich. Yes, I have seen it several times. Although the food is not delicacies, it is still fragrant. As they talked, several vendors themselves were drooling. Don't worry, his lease period has expired and he will definitely come out in the next 2 days. Is the lease term up? The soul guide in the room issued a notice, and Suyu came back to his senses. He had been practicing for a month without knowing it. It just so happens that it's time to change your place of residence and try mimicry practice. Mimicry training simulates the environment in which the martial soul adapts. When the surrounding environment matches the martial soul, the speed at which the martial soul draws the vitality of the world and absorbs and digests the vitality is far faster than usual. Under normal circumstances, under mimicry practice, the practice speed can be accelerated by 50% to 3 times. Of course, 3 times this value is a very ideal and perfect mimetic training environment. Suyu now wants to rely on mimicry practice to improve his practice speed, and he is very satisfied if he can speed up 5 achievements. Go and look around to see if there is a house with a larger yard, which has been in disrepair, and where blue-silver grass grows vigorously. If not, then just meet the first condition. The longer the yard is, the more likely it is that you can cultivate the environment of blue-silver grass yourself. Blue-silver grass is the most common grass in Douluo continent. It has tenacious vitality and can survive in almost any environment. Another advantage is that it grows quickly. It is not difficult for Suyu to use martial arts to induce the growth of blue-silver grass and create an environment for blue-silver grass. Suyu put all his clothes into the storage ring and went out immediately, preparing to look at the house. As soon as he went out, he noticed something was wrong. Hidden souls linger. Suyu actually noticed these people on the first day. Even the teacher kindly reminded Suyu after earning Suyu a gold soul coin in 3 days. So Suyu always knew that he was being targeted. In order to reduce trouble, and at the same time to focus more on cultivation, he didn't go out for just a month, and only food and drinks were brought to him by others. As a result, these people were still squatting outside. Suyu's eyes were full of coldness. Are you targeting me? Then let's see who is the prey. This month, I spent 2 gold soul coins. There are 8 gold soul coins left on his body. According to this month's expenditure, it is enough to support his cultivation to the 10th level, let alone the need to hunt soul beasts. It happened to be a month of practice, and my body seemed to be rusted. Suyu also planned to stretch his muscles and bones. This month's training is mainly about experience, and it is also an inspection to make sure that there is no barrier between my body and my spirit. Suyu was not in a hurry to act. He also wanted to confirm what level of existence was behind the opponent. Find a house first. With an extra silver soul coin in his hand, Xian Tong smiled, thinking that this little guy is very spiritual. Are you talking about those? They are backed by real soul masters, but it's just a soul master who has absorbed the soul ring for 10 years due to shit luck. The strength is almost at the level of floor tiles among soul masters, but bullying ordinary people is still no problem. Don't worry, our side is a formal institution, and there are people behind it. As long as you don't come out at home, they don't dare to force it. Qian Tong also heard that Suyu never went out for a month, and he heard from the food delivery person that he had been practicing. Sigh, what a pity, with such spirituality and hard training, it's just a third-level blue-silver grass martial soul. However, the blue-silver grass martial soul can awaken a third-level soul power. To a certain extent, this kid can also be said to be extremely talented. Qian Tong was just impressed by Su Yu's talent and didn't pay much attention to it. In Qian Tong's place, things are easy to do if you have money. By the way, I'm looking for a new house with a larger yard. If I meet the conditions, I can consider renting it for 1 year. Qian Tong had no objection to Su Yu's request, but he was speechless when he heard the conditions. Su Yu said, "This kid doesn't want to stay at home for a year, does he? Just practicing alone would definitely be boring, so why not find a place with a big yard where you can move around?" This was the first thing Qian Tong thought of, but this is indeed a good idea. A 6-year-old baby should be kept quiet. The house you are looking for is located in the suburbs. It is quite large and has a yard of 100 square meters, but the rent is relatively expensive, but considering that you rent annually, you can get a discount of 8 gold soul coins. Su Yu's previous residence only cost 5 silver soul coins a month and 6 gold soul coins a year, and this one has directly increased by 1/3, and it is still in the suburbs, where housing prices should be lower. This is the price after discount, although I don't know how this discount works. Su Yu frowned. 8 gold soul coins, this was his last net worth. No, I just gave Qian Tong a silver soul coin, and now he has less than 8 gold soul coins. Can it be cheaper? New book issue data is very important, especially for reading. Brothers who like this book, please take the time to click on the latest chapter every day. Thank you very much. Chapter 5 Everything is according to plan. Please read it. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's in the suburbs, so the cost shouldn't be so high, right? Moreover, I will still need your living services in the future. The cost of living services in the suburbs must be higher, right? Qian Tong thought about it for a while. It's just because you are so young, otherwise I wouldn't let anyone else come. How about it, 7 gold soul coins. As for daily services, we will provide you with meals and water. If you pay for the annual subscription, we will give you 10 gold soul coins at a cheaper price. Su Yu's face turned green. He felt that Qian Tong might have added the reduced rent to the service fee, 10 gold soul coins. Just deliver a meal and water every day. Apart from labor, the cost is only 3 gold soul coins at most. Grab money. I'll look at the room first, and then I'll think about the service fee. Qian Tong did not force it. Good. Under the leadership of Qian Tong, Su Yu felt good about the house after viewing it and immediately decided to rent it here. For the service fee, I'll think about it again. It's okay. Whenever you figure it out, you can handle it. But I have to remind you, those people probably can't wait. Su Yu smiled and expressed his thanks for the reminder. A 6-year-old child was talking to Qian Tong like a little adult. However, if one could feel the fluctuations of soul power that Su Yu exuded at that moment, no one would look down upon him. After all, Douluo continent is still dominated by ordinary people, and many people have no soul power after awakening their martial souls, distributing his soul power fluctuations at all times is, on the one hand, avoiding trouble, and on the other hand, it is also a way for Su Yu to paralyze outsiders. Ordinary people would stay away from him, but soul masters could tell that Su Yu only had level 4 soul power. After Qian Tong left, Su Yu went out and looked around for possible shops. Hey, kid, no matter how cautious you are, you still have to come out. Halfway through, Su Yu was stopped by a man with an ugly scar on his right cheek. Wang Meng, the fluctuations on the opponent's body were much stronger than his own, but the strength was limited and did not reach the level of terror that the evil soul master had at that time. Su Yu has seen this guy's portrait at Qian Tong's. Wang Meng, 11th level Soul Master, Wuhu an iron rod. In Wang Meng's eyes, Suyu was frightened and shocked by his powerful soul power. Humph. A little blue silver grass Soul Master with only level 4 soul power, how could he not be frightened? Wang Meng's soul power surged, and a black iron rod appeared in his hand. There were sparse white lines on the iron rod, and around Wang Meng's body, there was a white soul ring floating in the air. Humph, boy. If you have sense, hand over the money you have, otherwise I will be rude. Wang Meng threatened with fierce eyes. I have no money, do you believe it? Suyu shrugged, he really has no money. He looked around to see if Wang Meng had any other helpers. 3 thin men in linen clothes appeared from 3 other directions and surrounded Suyu. Suyu recognized the 3 of them as the vendors who were outside his door before. It seems that all of you are here. Hearing Suyu's words, Wang Meng and others didn't know what he meant, but at this moment, 4 people surrounded the 6-year-old baby. Could they let him run away? Humph, hand over the gold soul coins you have, otherwise no one in this wilderness will know about it. Wang Meng showed his murderous intent. He had really killed someone. Suyu narrowed his eyes. This is what you said to kill me first. He quickly showed a shocked look, avoided his eyes, and shouted. Don't come here. Suyu summoned the blue silver grass martial spirit, and the 4th level soul power fluctuations came out, as if he wanted to intimidate Wang Meng with this. During this process, a large amount of soul power dissipated. Wang Meng laughed angrily. Boy, you can't even control your soul power. Are you here to embarrass yourself? Ha 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 ha. Wang Meng and his younger brother taunted wildly, controlling the dissipated soul power. It then merged into the ground and into the surrounding blue-silver grass. This is a suburb, the roads are remote, and blue-silver grass grows vigorously. Suyu's soul power was integrated into it. In an instant, the blue-silver grass around Wang Meng and his younger brother grew wildly and entangled him. The toughness of blue-silver grass is very poor, and it will break if you break it casually. However, with the accumulation of numbers, it is still possible to entangle an 11th level soul master for a second or two. Wang Meng shouted while struggling, extremely angry. He felt that this was Suyu's provocation. A little soul warrior with level 4 soul power attacks a soul master with level 11 soul power. Isn't this a provocation? Suyu repeated his old tricks. When the 4 people opened their mouths and laughed, the blue-silver grass wrapped around them, and at the same time, branches of the blue-silver grass poured into their mouths. The art of cutting. Suyu's soul power stimulated the blue-silver grass to grow instantly, but during the growth, due to Suyu's control, the growing part was very tapered. The rapid growth and its pointed tip directly pierced the mouths of the 3 younger brothers. The cutting technique is activated. Just for a moment, the 3 younger brothers' eyes widened and they refused to close their eyes. As for Wang Meng's side, it was not pierced by the sharp blue-silver grass. Suyu had to deal with 4 people at the same time, so the strength of his thrusts was inferior. Even if he took extra care of Wang Meng, this would be the result. Wang Meng roared. A white soul ring appeared around his body, emitting white light. The first soul skill, sweeping across all directions, the soul power escaped from the long stick in his hand, turning into stick shadows and sweeping away the blue-silver grass. Immediately, the shadow of the stick merged into the iron rod. Wang Meng's eyes were fierce and he jumped up, raising the iron rod to smash it down. Seeing this, Suyu didn't panic, and rushed forward. Everything is according to plan. A handle appeared in his hand, soul power was injected into it, and a slightly solid light and shadow condensed from the top of the handle. Soul Guide. Wang Meng was shocked. This person actually has a soul tool. Soul guides are valuable items, and soul guides that can be used in combat are at least 2nd level soul guides, and even if it is only a 2nd level soul guide, any one that can be used in battle is worth dozens of gold soul coins. How much money did this kid, a 6-year-old kid, bring when he went out alone? Wang Meng is obviously not a genius, and he doesn't even have enough combat experience. Normally, he probably just relies on his soul skills to bully ordinary people or soul warriors below level 10. At this critical moment, this is what he was thinking. Although the dagger in Suyu's hand was not completely condensed, it was already lethal. Whoosh. The dagger was thrown by him. Who said daggers have to be melee? Wang Meng was in the air and couldn't dodge at all. Even if the dagger was not completely condensed, it was extremely sharp and pierced directly into his chest. Boom. Wang Meng fell to the ground, and the iron rod in his hand disappeared. After struggling a few times, he just turned over and looked at Suyu with a trace of begging in his eyes. Help me, seeking to follow up. In the new book period, it is really important to follow up on reading. Brothers, support me. There are also recommended votes. Vote for those who have votes. Chapter 6 Mimicry Cultivation, the method of activating martial spirits. Please recommend. Please. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Suyu ignored Wang Meng's plea for help, laughing to death. If you want to kill me, I will kill you. Did you know to ask for help at this time? Have you killed many people? Are there many people who have lost their lives because of your plunder? Suyu hated people like Wang Meng very much. Because he died because of this group of people in his previous life. I don't have much money on me. Suyu searched and found 5 silver soul coins and 3 gold soul coins. It seems that I have to try to be more economical next time. At the very least, I will definitely not be able to enjoy the life of someone delivering meals every day. However, by taking care of the 4 Wang Meng this time, we should be able to deter others. You don't have to worry about too much trouble when you go out. Suyu returned home. Blue-silver grass, that he summoned his martial spirit and sown large tracts of blue-silver grass seeds, and his soul power urged the blue-silver grass to communicate with these seeds. Soon, the blue-silver grass seeds took root and sprouted. The originally neat ground in the courtyard was soon covered with blue-silver grass, leaving only a path for passage. Suyu had fought a battle, and now he had spawned so much blue-silver grass that his soul power had already bottomed out. If it weren't for the feedback of these blue-silver grasses to Suyu through the martial spirit at the same time as the birth, Suyu would not be able to give birth to a whole yard of blue-silver grass so quickly. However, it is already the limit to promote birth to this point. Blue-silver grass, if given enough opportunities, could potentially give birth to soul power and become a soul beast. The blue-silver grass in Suyu's yard now is just the most common blue-silver grass. The extent to which it can be spawned for the time being is only the growth progress of a normal blue-silver grass in 1 month. I don't know whether the transformation of blue-silver grass into a soul beast can be achieved naturally with age, or whether it requires special conditions. The effects of practicing in an ordinary blue-silver grass environment and in a blue-silver grass environment where all soul beasts have become soul beasts are definitely different. With the soul power in his body bottoming out, Suyu sat cross-legged on the grass. Just entering the meditative state, he felt the difference. It's like bathing in a blue ocean, surrounded by glittering blue light spots. Suyu himself is the brightest one, as if he is the center of all the blue light spots. The perception of vitality is clearer, the absorption is smoother, and the refining of soul power is also more convenient. While Suyu was recovering his soul power, he was also summarizing the differences. You carefully feel the difference in practice in a mimicry environment, and summarize the reasons why mimicry practice increases the speed of practice. In summary. Suyu ignored the entry. He was already immersed in feeling the changes in it and feeling the impact on his martial soul. My martial spirit has been affected by the environment of blue-silver grass. It seems to have been blessed and has been sublimated in all aspects. No, it's not sublimation, it's excavation. The potential of the martial arts spirit was discovered through guidance. You feel the state of mimicry practice, recognize the essence of mimicry practice, understand the changes in martial souls, and develop methods to activate martial souls. In the blink of an eye, a month later, Suyu continued to sum up his insights while practicing mimicry, and finally developed a method for activating martial souls. As the name suggests, in the absence of a mimetic environment, one can still self-stimulate the potential of martial arts and achieve the effect of mimetic training. However, the current activation method is still not perfect, consumes too much energy, and is not efficient enough to completely replace the mimetic environment. The method of activation is actually a way to summarize the state of the martial soul's potential when it is stimulated by the mimetic environment, and then artificially achieves this state. In other words, this is a method of simulation. To what extent has one experienced the mimetic cultivation environment, and what level can the activation method reach? Let's continue cultivating the blue-silver grass first. Douluo looked at the tangled blue-silver grass in the yard, and felt a sense of accomplishment. A month has passed, and the blue-silver grass here is at least in a state that it takes more than 3 years for the blue-silver grass growing in the wild to reach. Moreover, since Suyu continues to absorb vitality and transform into soul power, it is inevitable that 1 or 2 lucky ones among these auxiliary blue-silver grass will be contaminated by the breath of soul power and have already begun to transform. The soul power has also reached the peak of level 4. Continue to practice and strive to break through to level 5 within 10 days. Douluo continued to enter the state of cultivation, day to day. In the blink of an eye, another year has passed. The blue-silver grass in Suyu's courtyard began to truly generate soul power on its own. As the soul power accumulated, Suyu's cultivation blessing became more and more obvious. It's been a month and a half and you still haven't made a breakthrough. Suyu has been trapped at the peak of level 9 for a month and a half. Sure enough, the qualifications are still a bit lacking. Suyu is now 7 years old, but has not yet reached the 10th level of soul power. But others started with level 10 innate soul power, and the gap was really too big. However, my cultivation speed is obviously not at the level that ordinary blue-silver grass martial spirits can achieve. Suyu attributed all this to his soul power. His soul is more powerful, he is faster at absorbing vitality, and his cultivation is naturally faster. Of course, there is also the bonus of mimicry practice. In about 1 year and 2 months, the soul power increased from the 3.5 level to the current peak of the 9th level. Even at the soul warrior stage, this rate of progress is already quite terrifying. Tonight, I hope I can break through. Suyu had actually made 2 attacks before, but both times were just a hair short of success and failed. Tonight, he will make his last attempt. After adjusting his posture, he sat cross-legged among the many blue-silver grasses. The surrounding blue-silver grass spontaneously gathered and wrapped Suyu inside. A steady stream of vitality poured into the martial soul, and was imprinted with Suyu's brand, and then traveled throughout the body, flushing the meridians throughout the body. This is a technique that Suyu has explored over the past year or so. The semi-refined vitality washes through the body, refining the meridians more fully without hurting the body. At the same time, as the semi-refined vitality circulates in the body, it will also be refined by the body itself. As it circulates, it will gradually be transformed into its own soul power. This is equivalent to adding an extra processing plant to refining soul power. This cultivation method is called the body tempering method by Suyu, which corresponds to the meditation method. In the past 2 days, Suyu had completely perfected the body tempering method, and the circulation route of the vitality in the body finally formed a cycle. It was precisely because of this that he had the confidence to attack the 10th level again. The soul power in his body has reached its peak, but with the operation of meditation method and body tempering method, Suyu is still refining the vitality into soul power. The total amount of soul power cannot be increased, and these soul powers are integrated into the existing soul power, improving the quality of the existing soul power. As the quality of soul power continues to improve, that barrier is also broken. Level 10. Breakthrough. The next step is to absorb the soul ring and become a true soul master. Please read it. In the new book period, it is really important to follow up on reading. Brothers, support me. There are also recommended votes. Vote for those who have votes. Chapter 7: The Development of the Martial Soul, the Choice of the Soul Ring. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The soul ring is very important to a soul master. Not only because of the abilities provided by the soul ring itself, but also because of the promotion effect of the soul ring itself on the evolution of martial souls. The entire training process of a soul master is actually the evolution of the martial soul. Every time a soul ring is absorbed, it is an evolution of the martial soul and the exploration of the power of the martial soul. For the weak martial soul, this is an evolution. For a powerful martial soul, this is the exploration of the power of the martial soul and an improvement of the martial soul. Suyu's martial spirit is just the most ordinary blue-silver grass, and the spirit ring means more to him, because blue-silver grass is too restrictive for normal cultivation. Suyu has already experienced it severely in the past month and a half. If he cannot essentially evolve his martial soul, he will sooner or later be stuck in a certain realm due to the limitations of his martial soul. Plan ahead. This is what Suyu needs to do. When planning the direction of martial arts improvement, you must first understand martial arts. Tang San's blue-silver grass cultivation is simply a piece of shit, and I don't know where Dashur got the courage to match it like this. If it hadn't been for the support of the Clear Sky Hammer spirit, and if it hadn't been for the late awakening of the Blue-Silver Emperor's bloodline, it would probably have been useless. Moreover, even if the Blue-Silver Emperor's bloodline is awakened, the previous selection of soul rings will still greatly limit the growth of the martial soul. It's not that Suyu belittles anyone, but he tells the truth. This is stupid behavior. Blue-silver grass is combined with poison and toughness. It sounds reasonable, but if you think about it carefully, this is a nonsense theory. Blue-silver herb is inherently fragile. Even if it absorbs soul rings to improve these aspects, it is completely inferior to the enhanced effects of martial souls that are advantages in other aspects. He is already poor, but he still makes up for it in this aspect. Who can he catch up with? Forget it. Nima is actually both tough and toxic, bit off more than you can chew. Almost all the things that Suyu summarized that need to be paid attention to when choosing a soul ring were stepped on by Dashur. The most remarkable feature of blue-silver grass is its tenacious vitality. Everywhere on the Douluo planet, there is blue-silver grass. It is because of the strong vitality of blue-silver grass that it can adapt to all environments, bloom into life. Therefore, blue-silver grass must increase vitality and be specialized. Suyu had an idea. He wanted all 9 soul rings to be added to his vitality. Perhaps when choosing a soul ring, you can consider some additional attributes to appropriately increase the toughness and strength of blue-silver grass, but the most important attribute must be vitality. With vitality, blue-silver grass can grow more tenaciously. Translated into martial arts, that means the soul power level is increased step by step. Suyu has incredible understanding and is confident in creating his own soul skills. Blue-silver grass, which has huge vitality, is the perfect development target. If it has enough vitality, it will have a foundation no matter which direction it is developed. With the foundation, anything is possible. Even if he didn't have Suyu's understanding and couldn't develop his own soul skills, this theory would still be completely valid. Blue-silver herb is not a fighting spirit at all. If you insist on relying on fighting, it will only go further and further. Adding some vitality will at least guarantee that the soul power will continue to improve. If the soul power level cannot be improved, what is the use of fighting ability? Isn't the blue-silver grass assistant great? That if you add some vitality, you can definitely get healing soul skills. Suyu started preparing his soul ring a month ago. He spent 2 gold soul coins to buy a basic soul beast manual, studied the characteristics of soul beasts, and selected a soul beast that suited him. The amethyst fruit tree, a strange plant-like soul beast, can produce purple crystal clear fruits. Each fruit contains powerful energy. Eating this fruit can allow the soul master to quickly recover his physical strength and soul power. The amethyst fruit tree itself has huge vitality. If it is absorbed as a soul ring, it should be able to enhance the vitality of the blue-silver grass, but it is very likely that soul skills will really develop in the direction of assistance. Although blue-silver grass is indeed suitable for assistance, for ordinary people, when they are unable to create their own soul skills, developing assistance is most suitable. Suyu is different. As long as the vitality of the blue-silver grass itself is enough to support it, he can develop powerful soul skills on his own, so he only needs to grasp the most essential point of his theory, which is to add vitality. Amethyst fruit trees meet the requirements in terms of vitality. However, for Suyu in the early stage, it would be better to add some effects that can improve the toughness and strength of blue-silver grass while increasing his vitality. The biggest disadvantage of the amethyst fruit tree is that its trunk is fragile. Among the tree spirit beasts, it is one of the more fragile ones. The star spirit vine is a vine that mutates due to the power of stars. It can absorb the power of stars and convert it into soul power. The vitality of the star spirit vine is very strong. Especially when it is damaged, it can absorb the power of stars to recover. And because it is tempered by the power of the stars, this star spirit vine is also top-notch in terms of toughness and strength. It can be said that this star spirit vine is a soul ring that perfectly meets Suyu's needs, but there are also disadvantages. Star Spirit Vine is relatively rare and has strict growth requirements. It needs to absorb the power of stars to survive, although the night sky here in Wanhua City is very bright at night, and the power of the stars may be strong, there may not necessarily be Star Spirit Vine, but there is hope anyway. This is also one of the reasons why Siu listed it as his alternative, in addition to amethyst fruit trees and Star Spirit Vines. Suyu is also interested in other soul beasts such as dragon scale vines. Dragon scale vine is named according to its appearance. There are layers of cuticles on the vine that resemble dragon scales. Dragon scale vine is also second to none in terms of toughness and strength, and its scaly cuticle provides it with good defense. The most important thing is this dragon scale vine, its vitality is strong, and it even has the soul ability to explode vitality. Suyu sorted out the list of soul beasts he needed, and wrote down their characteristics. The biggest problem I'm facing now is, how do I enter the hunting soul forest? That there are also soul beasts in the wild, but there are too few types of soul beasts, and it is difficult to find them in 2s and 3s, and there are not too many cherished species. The closest and most convenient one is obviously the soul hunting forest in Wanhua City. However, to enter the soul hunting forest, a letter of recommendation is required. Letters of recommendation may seem difficult, but in other words, it is easy to understand. I need money. Please vote for recommendations and favorites. Chapter 8 Obtain the certificate, the first soul ring. Please read it. Please recommend. You are listening at novelfull.audio. So you never thought about getting a ferocious beast soul ring or a second martial soul as his first soul ring. Although this is an unexpected opportunity, it is not unrealistic at all. Suyu is one of those more rational beings who will not make unrealistic plans. Already possessing incredible understanding and capital for growth, wouldn't it be better to be more stable? And, the most important thing is, since Tang-san can change the soul ring later, why can't I? Tang-san could sacrifice his spirit ring and then replace it with a higher age spirit ring, so why couldn't he do it here? It's hard to say whether you can find a god's inheritance and increase the life of your original soul ring in the test of God, but the idea of changing soul rings is feasible and controllable. Suyu's biggest reliance is his incredible understanding and his confidence to develop similar methods. The gold soul coins are definitely gone now, however, it is still necessary to inquire about the information first. Qian Tong weighed a Gintama coin in his hand. We at Wanhu House can issue this soul hunting certificate, but we cannot give it to you for free. How much? Suyu asked the price directly without any hesitation. Refreshing. Qian Tong praised and said, 10 gold soul coins. If I don't have money, how else can I get it? Qian Tong didn't seem surprised. After all, Suyu hadn't handled any living services this year. He had to buy and cook his own meals. From this point, he could deduce it. He narrowed his eyes slightly and looked at Suyu. Has your soul power reached level 10? Suyu's soul power aura was not very accurate. He could feel the intensity, but he didn't have an accurate measurement and didn't know the specific level. But Suyu was asking about the soul hunting certificate, and there was a high probability that he had broken through to level 10. And a year ago, when they first met, Suyu was only at level 3. That's right. Suyu didn't hide it. Qian Tong's eyes flickered, as if he was considering something. Well, I'll give you a voucher for free, which counts as my personal investment in you. He likes money and will try his best to meet customer needs when he has money, but at the same time he prefers investing. Suyu is obviously the one worth investing in. Then thank you Boss Qian for the soul hunting certificate. Qian Tong was stunned for a moment, then smiled bitterly. It seems that this boy came here just because he wanted to have sex for nothing. No, it can't be said that it's free sex, it can only be said that everyone gets what they need. Has the target been determined? Do you need me to send someone to help you hunt the soul beast? Suyu originally planned to refuse, but after thinking about it, since he had already obtained the certificate for free, the helper simply accepted it. Thanks then. After getting the voucher, Suyu went straight to the soul hunting forest. Name: Suyu. Soul power level: Grade 10. Where's the certificate? Here. After checking Su Yu's soul hunting certificate, the soldiers in charge of guarding did not continue to intercept and let Su Yu and others go. The two soul masters Qian Tong found for Su Yu were both at the level of great soul masters, possessing the heavenly star vine and the flame sword martial souls respectively, one control, one power attack, and the fire-type martial soul can more restrain the plant-like soul beast that Su Yu needs. Brother Zhao, the several soul beasts I need are all plant-type soul beasts, among which the star spirit vine may appear in these locations. Su Yu was well prepared. He spread out the map of the soul hunting forest and pointed in several directions. Dragon scale vines may appear more likely in these places. Dragon scale vines are vine soul beasts that mutate by absorbing dragon blood, so they are most likely to appear around dragon soul beasts. There are naturally no real dragons in the soul hunting forest, not even sub-dragons, but there are a few soul beasts with thin dragon blood. Su Yu was referring to several of them. Let's go in this direction. I heard about the amethyst fruit trees here. Zhao Lei pointed in a direction and said. Then follow what Brother Zhao said and look for it from this direction. Zhao Lei is a soul master with the flame sword spirit, and another soul master with the star vine is named Zhang Yuan. It just so happens that when I was looking for soul rings before, I seem to have heard of traces of the star spirit vine in this area. Zhang Yuan had no objection. He circled the map and drew an area, which was exactly where Su Yu and the others were going. It seems that your boy's soul ring acquisition will go smoothly. Point 3 objectives, 2 of which have clues. The 3 of them hit the road. In the soul hunting forest, there are soul masters who hunt soul beasts and obtain soul rings all year round, but it is still a natural environment and is in a primitive state, so you need to open your own path. After a few days, if no other soul master passes by, this road may be sealed again. Su Yu and the others fought through obstacles all the way and finally saw their target. Dragon scale vine, it seems you can't absorb it. Every time the dragon scale vine rises 100 years, its roots will condense into bleeding red scales. The dragon scale vine in front of me has 9 exposed bloody scales, at least 900 years of cultivation. Let's keep looking. Zhao Lei and Zhang Yuan were both 28th level great soul masters. Shocked by their soul power, dragon scale vine did not attack them. The two sides do not interfere with each other, and if Su Yu came alone, it would definitely not be like this. The 3 of them searched for 3 days in the soul hunting forest. I was lucky on the first day and came across the dragon scale vine, only to find that it had been cultivated for 900 years. I can only give up on this dragon scale vine and continue searching. For the next 3 days, the 3 of them found nothing. Star spirit vine. Zhang Yuan's voice attracted Su Yu's attention. He followed Zhang Yuan's gaze through the shadows of trees and locked onto a vine emitting hazy starlight. You're really lucky, kid. I wanted to find such a star spirit vine as my soul ring back then, but I couldn't find it. Zhang Yuan sighed. Su Yu didn't get too excited and kept calm, saying, let's see what year it is first. If the year is not suitable, we still have to give up. Yes, let's check the year first. With that said, Zhao Lei had summoned the martial soul flame sword, and 2 soul rings, 1 white and 1 yellow, were suspended around his body. As the 3 of them approached, the tangled star spirit vine came into view. The vines of the star spirit vine are intricate, but if you look closely, you will find that one of them is not only thicker, but also has a star pattern on it. Looking at his star pattern, he must have just exceeded 400 years. Zhang Yuan had studied the Xingling vine and recognized its age at a glance. The limit of the first soul ring is probably more than 400 years. This star spirit vine that has just exceeded 400 years can be said to be the most perfect first soul ring. Zhang Yuan once again expressed his envy. Su Yu also immediately decided to make this star spirit vine his first soul ring. 2 eldest brothers, I still have to rely on you from now on. No problem, the 400-year-old star spirit vine is still easy to hunt. Stay away and don't get affected. Zhao Lei reminded Su Yu to stay away from the battlefield and wait until the end to get close to harvest. Su Yu didn't show off, standing far away with a dagger in his hand. He didn't take out the soul guide. After all, wealth is not exposed. This dagger is also sharp enough. The battle only lasted 3 minutes. Zhao Lei reminded Suyu that he stabbed the core of the star spirit vine with a dagger. A circle of yellow soul rings exuding starlight floated out from the corpse of Xingling vine and suspended in the air. Chapter 9 2.5 years, please continue to read. Please recommend. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Okay, you can absorb the soul ring now, and the two of us will protect you. Suyu nodded and sat cross-legged on the ground. He did not pull the soul ring immediately, but first adjusted his state and used meditation to adjust his breathing to a normal state. In the meditative state, Suyu could feel the circle of soul rings in front of him. The pulling soul ring falls on his own martial soul. A blue-silver grass grew from behind Suyu, and the soul ring wrapped around the two of them. Suyu groaned as majestic soul power poured into his body. Withstanding the impact of the soul power and refining the soul power, it is considered as the initial absorption of the soul ring. Suyu endured the impact and used his soul power to guide the soul power pouring in from the soul ring to circulate in his body. Perhaps it was tempered by the body tempering method, and the meridians in his body seemed to be stronger. Suyu quickly withstood the impact. He even used this soul power to temper the meridians in his body and temper all parts of his body. Suyu sat cross-legged on the ground, his bones crackling. This absorbs soul rings very quickly. It seems that Suyu has a very strong physique. As we all know, when absorbing soul rings, the stronger the body, the higher the maximum lifespan of the absorbed soul rings. For soul rings of the same age, the higher the physique, the faster and easier it is to absorb. After the soul power is refined, it's time to absorb the soul ring. After the impact of the soul power in the soul ring has been withstood and the refining is completed, the next step is to truly refine the origin of the soul beast. In Suyu's spiritual world, a vine emitting hazy starlight appeared. Blue-silver grass rises from the ground, entangles the vine, and uses cutting techniques to destroy the inside of the vine. In my spiritual world, all foreign things will be suppressed. Before the 10,000 years soul ring, Suyu's autosuggestion method was really useful. After defeating the phantom, blue-silver grass absorbs bit by bit the source of the phantom's dispersion. These things are not absorbed casually. It is best to let nature take its course, to get the most possible kind of soul skill, but if you have your own needs, absorb it in a specific way and according to the guidance in your heart. The soul skill you get will definitely have different effects from the soul ring. It's this difference that may be good or bad, so you let nature take its course and did not act rashly. But in the process of absorption, I also feel the difference in these original energies. It should be absorbed this way. So you can understand the changes and growth of Wuhuan, and precisely because of this, with a thought in his mind, the way of absorption changed, and a certain origin that had escaped a lot was absorbed by him. This seems to be the part related to the power of the stars. There are also these origins that strengthen vitality. Suyu devoted himself wholeheartedly to absorbing the soul ring. In the blink of an eye, 3 hours passed. Why does this kid take so long to absorb the soul ring? That's not right. The process was obviously very fast before. Zhao Lei and Zhang Yuan were a little suspicious at the moment. At this moment, a wave of soul power rippled through the motionless Suyu's body. Successful. Suyu's soul power fluctuations increased a lot. The soul ring wrapped around his body also gradually shrank, and finally gathered into his body. Thank you, two big brothers. Suyu stood up and thanked him. The three of them were polite and left the scene without wasting time. Suyu obtained the first soul ring and did not choose to leave. He continued to stay in Wangyue City to practice. In the blink of an eye, 2.5 years have passed. After absorbing the soul ring of the star spirit vine, Suyu's soul power directly broke through to level 12. After breaking through to the soul master level, Suyu's training speed dropped again, and it took an average of 3 months to break through to the first level. The threshold of level 20 is not bad. After absorbing the star spirit vine, the life source of blue-silver grass was strengthened. Suyu's breakthrough was very smooth and only took half a year. He did not choose to absorb the 900-year-old dragon scale vine. After absorbing the star spirit vine, Suyu's blue-silver grass was able to absorb the power of the stars for cultivation. He used the power of the stars to run the body tempering method, and his body was greatly strengthened. For 2.5 years, including the 3 months since he broke through level 20, he has been improving his physique. The purpose is to absorb a 1,000-year soul ring at level 20. In the middle, Suyu sold the soul guide dagger to Qian Tong. The life source of the blue silver grass was strengthened for the first time, and many of Suyu's ideas were turned into reality. With many self-created soul skills, the effect of this dagger was greatly reduced, so Suyu sold it. The dagger is a third-level soul tool. Although it is relatively common, it is still valuable. Even a second-hand one was sold for 150 gold soul coins. After spending 2.5 years, I still have about 100 gold soul coins left. The expenses were much higher than the previous year because Suyu purchased a large number of books to gain knowledge. Go find Qian Tong. This time, it may take a lot of time to search for the 1,000-year soul ring. To leapfrog a level and absorb a 1,000-year soul ring, the age requirement is very strict. It cannot be too high, and the soul beast itself cannot be too bad. It's a big hassle to find. Without Qian Tong, it will be difficult to find help. Do you want to leapfrog and absorb the Millennium's second ring? Qian Tong was surprised when he heard Suyu's request, but if you think about it carefully, Suyu's reasons are very sufficient and persuasive. Are you sure your body can support a 1,000-year soul ring? Don't worry, when I had my first soul ring, I felt that the limit was more than 400 years. Suyu felt that his choice of the first soul ring was a bit conservative. Not to mention 600 years, at least 500 years was available. This time, after tempering his body with the power of the stars and strengthening his daily training, Suyu was confident that he could withstand the impact of the soul power of the 1,000-year soul ring. As for absorbing the origin of the soul ring, Suyu is not worried. He has practiced it once, and in the past 2.5 years, Suyu has also perfected the autosuggestion method. As long as it is not a 10,000-year soul ring, as long as he can withstand the impact of its soul power, Suyu can say that the subsequent source absorption will be easy for him. Okay, since you think it's okay, I won't persuade you. Qian Tong was also very excited. If he succeeds, this will be a soul master whose second ring is 1,000 years old. Even if it is Lan Yincao's martial spirit, Suyu's upper limit will definitely not be low in the future, and Soul Saint is the minimum. Contra has a lot of hope. Even titled Douluo is not hopeless. Everything is possible. Qian Tong didn't have any prejudice because of the blue-silver grass Wuhuan. After all, this blue-silver grass Wuhuan has been cultivated by Suyu until now. Like other top-level Wuhuans, the cultivation speed is not at all inferior. Do you have any intention for your second soul ring? Actually, it's the same requirement as last time. The vitality must be strong, and it's best to obtain soul skills that increase vitality. The soul beast that can add life must be good at this. This is Suyu's request, and with the additional condition of invisibility, it is difficult to find after just breaking through the millennium. The soul hunting forest is probably very difficult to find. We still need large soul beast gathering places like the Star Doe Forest to hope to find soul beasts that meet the conditions. Chapter 10 The Second Ring of the Millennium. Please read, recommend, and collect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The soul beasts Suyu needed were not easy to find in the soul hunting forest. The purpose of the soul hunting forest is to facilitate soul masters to obtain the first 2 soul rings. The 1,000-year soul beast can be said to be the top existence in the soul hunting forest. The quantity is very rare, not to mention, there is a spirit beast that has just broken through the millennium plant life system. Therefore, it is better to go to a larger soul beast gathering place. The Great Star Forest. There is another way. Any solution? If you don't pursue the excitement of thrilling hunting in the wild, you can directly purchase the corresponding soul beast. If there is money to be made, then someone will do it. Wanhu Tower has branch halls in every major city in the Star Luo Empire, and it also has its own soul hunting teams, which are dedicated to hunting soul beasts for soul masters in the system who need soul rings. I can check the existing soul beasts in Wanhu building to see if there are any that meet your conditions. If there is, I can apply for it for you. Suyu was very moved when he heard Qian Tong's introduction. How many gold soul coins? According to the internal price, your request will range from about 50 gold soul coins to 100 gold soul coins. The corners of Suyu's mouth twitched. How come the asking price fits so well with the capacity of his wallet? Qian Tong ordered him to go down. and someone immediately started to sort out the information and look for soul beasts that met Su Yu's conditions. By the way, Brother Su, are you planning to go to Shrek Academy next? Qian Tong suddenly seemed to think of something and asked Su Yu. Yes, the #1 Soul Master Academy in the continent, of course I have to go and check it out. Su Yu said naturally, but he didn't seem very excited when he saw Qian Tong. Maybe, old Qian, you think I shouldn't go to Shrek Academy? Brother Su, do you think Shrek Academy is suitable for you? Qian Tong did not answer directly, but asked back. Su Yu was speechless for a moment. To be honest, Shrek Academy's ability to firmly occupy the title of #1 in the mainland depends on one volume: gather a group of the most talented people in the mainland and roll together. In this environment, it's not right that the mainland is #1. Brother Su, your martial spirit is just ordinary blue-silver grass. Although the speed of soul power cultivation due to your talent is comparable to that of top geniuses, you are definitely lacking a lot in combat. Soul Guide is the path you must consider. As for the further training of soul tools, the Sun and Moon Empire is the best choice. Su nodded, agreeing with Qian Tong's analysis. He has incredible understanding and is confident that he can develop a series of powerful self-created soul skills. There will be no lack of means of combat, nor will they be weak. However, the Soul Guide is indeed a system that he needs to study. Besides, Brother Su, your personality is not suitable for Shrek Academy. Based on the observations over the past few years, it is enough to see a person's character. Qian Tong has basically figured out Su Yu's character. Shrek Academy is full of fights. For Su Yu, it is better to calm down and do research on the Sun and Moon Royal Soul Engineer Academy. Su Yu nodded and said, I will consider your proposal. He suddenly changed the subject and asked, Old Qian, aren't you from the Star Luo Empire? Moreover, Wanhu Tower should also be a property of the Star Luo Empire. What do you mean by recommending me to go to the Sun and Moon Empire? Su asked in a joking tone. Unexpectedly, Qian Tong actually answered. Brother Su, you are still young and don't understand. The situation on the mainland is already obvious. The three empires cannot defeat the Sun and Moon Empire. The biggest reliance of the original three empires in Douluo continent was Shrek Academy. However, Shrek Academy still did not keep up with the trend of the times and disdained soul guides. The Sun and Moon Empire relied on soul guides to suppress the three empires without any breathing space. It can be seen that the power and importance of soul guides are still looked down upon by Shrek Academy. If it continues like this, sooner or later it will fall behind. After Qian Tong's analysis, Su Yu was impressed. Furthermore, the reason why Shrek Academy has such a status is that he is impartial and gathers the most powerful geniuses in the entire continent in order to maintain his status. However, since the collision and fusion of Sun Moon continent and Douluo continent, Shrek Academy has already started to drift. This kind of instinctive xenophobia will cause Shrek Academy to deteriorate over time and will no longer be glorious. Su Yu agreed very much. Qian Tong's analysis is correct. If Hui Yuhao hadn't appeared in the original work, the situation in the entire Douluo continent might have been completely different. That's not right. It shouldn't be about Hui Yuhao's appearance. It should be said that if the God King had not sought personal gain, Hui Yuhao would have more likely joined the Sun Moon Empire. After all, he hated Duke Baihu, perhaps. Taking the orange path is likely to be Hui Yuhao's normal development path. At that time, the Sun and the Moon will be unified. And Douluo continent will enter an unprecedented stage of rapid development. I've said a bit too much today, but Brother Su, what I said is also for your own good. You might as well think about it when you go back, that even as a member of the Star Luo Empire, Qian Tong believed that the Star Luo Empire was just stubbornly resisting. Sooner or later, the Sun Moon Empire will be unified. Is Qian Tong the only one who holds this view? Besides Qian Tong, how many other people are there? Su Yu suddenly realized that perhaps, in the Star Luo Empire, apart from the brainwashed people, many nobles who had no worries about food and drink were the ones who saw the most clearly, because they know more and see more comprehensively. The soul beast information you requested has also been found. Qian Tong took the information handed over by his subordinates. After reading it, he said with a smile, "You are really as lucky as ever." He handed over the paper in his hand and said, "There is an 1100-year-old purple moon orchid, which is just right for you. Purple Moon Orchid. Suyu took the paper and browsed it quickly, feeling excited. Want it? This Purple Moon Orchid costs about 70 gold soul coins. Suyu took out 70 gold soul coins and handed them to Qian Tong. By the way, brother, do you need to wait for a while? Are you sure you don't need to accumulate for a while? Qian Tong finally confirmed, because it was a soul beast that I hunted. This Purple Moon Orchid is in pretty good condition right now, and there is no problem if I continue to wait for half a year before absorbing it. Suyu shook his head, he has enough confidence now. Even a steady time traveler like him feels confident, which shows how high the success rate is. There is 80% if not 90%. Okay, Xiaolan will be delivered in 3 days, and you will come here in 3 days to absorb the soul ring. The two parties agreed on a time and Suyu left Wanhilu. Purple Moon Orchid, I hope you won't disappoint me. Back home, Suyu continued to develop his own soul skills. In 2.5 years, he developed a large number of self-created soul skills, such as the King Kong would move, the blue-silver explosive gun, and so on. Next, the development tree realm is coming. Bah, no, it should be the blue-silver realm. Please recommend, brothers who have recommendation votes please vote, thank you.